what I want us to understand here today is that the spiritual tone of this interaction with Jesus and Peter reveals the tender and restorative care of Jesus' love for Peter. The voice of Jesus calls Peter back from failure and doubt. In just a few solemn words, Jesus heals Peter from a state of brokenness and sends him forth to serve. What can we learn from this interaction between Jesus and Peter that speaks to our own inner life? I'm glad you asked that question. First of all, we see here that the inner voice of love is relentless. The inner voice of love is relentless. He says here, look at what it says here in verses 15 to 17. And when they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And Jesus says to him, "Feed my lambs." Second time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He said, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And Jesus said to him, "Tend my sheep." He said to him the third time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter felt hurt. He was offended because he said to him the third time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep." And we see Jesus using this word for love, agapao, which means a love that has no strings attached to it. It's unconditional love. But Peter comes back and says, "Lord, you know I phileo you," which is a friendly, a brotherly love. But scholars have concluded that these words are interchangeable. Peter may be saying to him is that, "Jesus, my love has not gotten to your level yet." You see, Jesus' love is perfect. It's fully functional. Jesus can't love us any more than he loves us. After all, he died and rose for us. But we can love Jesus a whole lot more than we love him. And so we must grow on the scale of our love for Jesus. And maybe Peter is saying, "Lord, at this point, Lord, I love you, but I don't love you the way you love me." For we know Peter has some major character flaws. He had an ego problem. Due to his own pride, he kept edging God out. And when we edge God out, we become victims of our own circumstances. When we leave God out of the picture of our lives become underdeveloped. Peter had more confidence in himself than he had in Jesus. There's an African proverb that says that if you can conquer the enemy within, the enemy without can do you no harm. That statement is basically saying that if I can conquer my own doubts, if I can conquer my own fears, then the enemy on the outside can do me no harm. Because if the truth be told, nobody has lied on you more than you've lied on yourself. Amen, lights. Nobody has failed us, me, myself, and I, more than I've failed myself. And so the question is, as this African proverb says, if I can conquer the enemy within, the enemy without can do me no harm. I think that's what Paul was saying, who shall deliver me from this sinful body of mine? But he didn't say that he could conquer himself. He said that only Christ can conquer this sinful nature within me. Jesus has to give Peter a reality check. He questions Peter. He questions Peter's inner life. He had to check his pride and replace it with humility. He had to check his ambition and replace it with submission. He had to check his lip service and replace it with life service. He had to check his fear and replace it with faith. We see Jesus is relentless in his pursuit of Peter. Love is patient and persistent, and we see this in Jesus' relationship with Peter. Jesus asked Peter 3 times, because his love is not always easy to recognize and to confess, especially after failure. And sometimes we may silence that voice, that inner voice, with feelings of guilt and unworthiness and shame. Yet God's love for us is relentless. He keeps calling us. He has us on his spiritual speed dial. He keeps inviting us into his inner circle. He reaffirms his love for us despite our idiosyncrasies and imperfections, despite our failures and shortcomings in life. Jesus will not give up on you. He will not throw in the towel on you. He will not say, I'm done with you. God is not a quitter. He's a finisher.